Testing. A lot of times when you look at fashion and clothing shoots, you think high key, soft, even lighting, and most times they're even shooting it on a white cyc, which there's reasons for that. However, I've been there and I've done that. And so in this video, I wanted to share with you all how we lit this fashion campaign shoot and did the complete opposite. Today, we're lighting with shadows. But before we get into lighting, I know a lot of y'all probably are gonna wanna know what we filmed with and all of the things. So first, let's talk about camera. So the camera that I decided to shoot with was of course my Blackmagic Pixis 6K, and I also own the Blackmagic 6K full frame. And we had the Pixis on sticks, and that was pretty much getting like a frontal wide shot of the whole outfit whenever the model came out. The B camera, which the 6K full frame, I was using that on the easy rig with a way tighter lens and doing a lot of movement and getting tighter shots. So when it came to the lenses, we were using Cook Pancros. That was my first time using them. And the reason why I was really particular about this combination is Blackmagic has its own unique sensor. And the sensor is very soft. It's really beautiful, and it kind of really reminds you of a Ari sensor. And so with that, I knew that finding a good pairing when it came to the lens was gonna just elevate the sensor when it came to the Pixis and the 6K full frame. These are Black women. They have a little bit more melanin, and I know with Cook they do really well on, darker skin tone because of the warmth that they're bringing. So I felt like that paired with the softness that already comes with the Blackmagic was just gonna be a really nice combination and a really nice pairing, and it was. One of the key things that I do want to talk about that I did use was the pearlescent, I think that's how you say it, filter. Pearlescent is really great when shooting and filming women, because the type of look that you get, it really softens a lot of the skin complexion and kind of getting rid of those blemishes. And to me, it gives a way different feel than Glimmer Glass. And so I knew shooting women and then also having this very warm and soft look, adding the pearlescent filter was going to just be a no-brainer. And it really, if you look at these images that came from the video, you'll just see how soft their skin looks and just how contrasted it is paired with our lighting. And so that was really big for me, just being intentional on the camera setup and what I wanted, how I wanted the results to look. And previously, this is our third shoot, and previously it's all been on a white cyc. Again, high key, soft, even lighting, and I was really getting boring with the look. I really wanted to make it more editorial like you see for some of these bigger fashion brands, and I wanted to find a way to bring a little bit more drama, to make it a little bit more cinematic, if you will, to her clothes and just to this overall teaser, and honestly just bring something different. And so with that, the biggest thing going into this is I wanted the lighting to be different. When I approached my gaffer with what I wanted to do, I basically gave a reference image of how I really wanted it to be lit, but specifically the color and the mood that I wanted to go for in post, because I was going to be coloring it myself. I knew I wanted to have a lot of contrast in the face. I knew I wanted the cyc to be more of a grayish, greenish, bluish tone and not necessarily just white. So I didn't want to have any lights that was going to hit on the cyc that we were filming on it, because I wanted it to fall off and then the cyc end up, changing into like a different gradient of color. So we started off with the Aperture 1200, shooting through a softbox with a grid to control the spill. That was our key. It was about 12 feet high, angled down, and 45 degrees to the side of talent, so the face still has shape and dimension. Then my gaffer Michaela added a 12 by diffusion about 3 feet behind the key, and we fired another Aperture 1200 through that with no dome for the fill. That lifted the full body since the key would have fallen off pretty drastically, and it added more ambiance. There was also an extra layer of diffusion in between the 12 by and the light to soften it even more, but I cannot remember what that was. And after that, everything was just shaping with angles. Now the first shot, this shot, when I saw this, I just thought this was such a beautiful shot. Just look at the texture, the softness of the skin. You see a little catch light in her eyes. Everything here was given, and you can clearly see that all of the light is coming from the right side, camera right. And the reason why is because you see all of your shadow, camera left. And that's a thing I always try to tell people. Look and dissect the image and really figure out where the shadows are and that determines where the light is. If the light is casting a shadow camera left, that means the light may be camera right. So we get a lot of shadow over here, camera left, but what I love the most is the Rembrandt lighting. Look at this triangle. This is a really good Rembrandt. Like, when I saw this, I was just like, this is just the definition of a Rembrandt lighting in its full totality. Like, it was perfect, a perfectly lit Rembrandt lighting. A shout out to her. Now, if we look at the full wide, you can see when she's directly facing a camera, that's when we really see the Rembrandt lighting come into play. And when she turns her face completely towards camera, it's a lot more flat. So to me, it's important to learn angles in correlation to your lighting. And this is how you learn how to light with shadows. Basically, keeping the light where it is and moving and seeing what the shadows do. The next one that I really love is going to be a shot with the both of them. Now here you can clearly see on the ground the shadows. So again, if you were to dissect this photo, you would look at it and say the light has to be coming maybe at a 45. It has to be coming camera right because the shadows are falling towards behind them at an angle to the camera left. And again, this image is a full body, and so you really see that feel come into play that we use to add, shooting that 1200 through for diffusion, because their whole body is still lit from the head down to the feet, as opposed to if we only had an octobox that was super high up, like this was probably like 12 feet up maybe, or maybe 10, and then angled down, we would have lost a lot at the bottom. And so because of that feel that was just directly kind of on, probably like from them, probably like 10 feet away, it really kind of helped with the full body, and it kept the full body lit. But again, if you zoom in to their face, beautiful natural fall off, which is why I also love the Black Magic. That highlight roll off is beautiful. Even though there's a lot of contrast happening, it's not like a stark roll off that goes from highlights to shadows. It's a very smooth and soft, gradient that's happening on their face, which is why I really love using Black Magic. And so even, Ika is a little bit further away, but you can still see some shadow on her, but she's getting a lot of that feel on her face. But here, Stephanie, you can see a lot more contrast. And the reason why I love this too is that these are completely two different skin tones. Ika is a lot lighter and Stephanie is a lot darker, but the lighting worked really well for the both of them. A pro tip is when you have two people of different kind of skin complexions, you usually want to have the darker one closer to the light, because if you have the lighter one closer to the light, then they're going to get a lot more of that light and they're already lighter. But if you put the darker skin tone closer to the light, then they're getting lit a lot more, which is going to even out. And so we put Stephanie closer to the light since she's a little darker, and that's what kind of evened it out. And then we had Ika a little further back, and so their skin is beautiful. It's flawless, and I love it. And again, it was really just a two light setup. And then we did have a floppy that was camera left, that was right off of the shot, that was bringing in a little bit more contrast as well, just heightening up that contrast. So all in all, I really loved how this came out. It's probably one of my favorite looks and favorite shoots that I've done, from beginning to end, all the way to the editing. And again, if you want me to have a video where I talk about like my color grading experience and just editing it, let me know. But if you guys have any more questions, leave them down below. Hit me up. Definitely like this video. If it helped you, share this with your friends. And of course, I'll see you in the next video.
Look up, Britt. Say cheese.
She got to worry about me no more. Look, he's telling me all the time. That one is so cute. I love the way we did that.
I said this.